Hi everyone, it's Dr. Tharshini here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Yoni eggs and crystal wands. So I actually have mine here for you so you can get to see what that looks like. This is one of the nephrite jade Yoni eggs that I use, and my beautiful crystal wand rose quartz that I use as well for my Yoni. Now, I wanted to talk about this topic because so many of my female patients want to know more information about this. Being a womb medicine teacher, I do send a lot of my clients to purchase one of these beautiful crystals to use in their yoni to help them with many different things. So if any of you are suffering from incontinence, Yoni egg is really good to help tighten up and through the whole area of the womb space. It's also really good for creating more mucus, so you don't get so dry as we get older. It's really good for activating blood flow to move through that womb space, through the whole pelvic region as well, and to help regulate the hormones as well as a result by connecting your mind and your pituitary gland to your womb, because you feel it. You feel a physical object within your womb, and it's also a crystal. So it has so many energetic properties that is moving through your body and allowing you to connect. So it's really amazing for that. I also use that for women who have experienced a lot of trauma, either physical abuse like rape, violence, or any sort of trauma really. I mean, for most women, this is a very sensitive area where we hold a lot of emotion that's been absorbed from the body and from our heart. You know, the two sacred centers of a woman is the heart and the second heart, which is the yoni. And the yoni is a Sanskrit word in Hinduism, which that's where I'm from. I'm actually from Sri Lanka and Hindu myself. And it's usually termed a yoni because it is called the sacred temple, the sacred space. It's a place of where source of creation runs through a woman. So it's really important that we treat it like a sacred center that it is. And a yoni egg allows us to help us remember this truth. It also strengthens our intuition. You know, for so many women, we're so disconnected to our bodies. We're not feeling anymore. We've become numb. And when we're using the egg, sometimes because of that numbness due to trauma, due to feeling like sex and pleasure is wrong, maybe because of the way we were brought up, maybe because of cultural issues, you know, this really affects a woman. And for most women, the first time that they were touched in this sacred space is usually by a man. So I want you to think back if you actually even masturbated or felt pleasure or touched yourself in that area before your partner or before a man entered you. And this is something that women don't experience. Whereas for a boy, it's very normal to have erections at a very young age and connect to their sacred anatomy, whereas we don't. And so this creates havoc for us and can cause things like gynecological issues, fertility issues, and menopause issues, which I see all the time as a Chinese medicine doctor who helps a lot of women in this area when they have issues and problems. So I wanted you to learn a little bit about this beautiful crystal that you can use at home, and also to remember that it's important to connect to it. You know, the yoni egg is a beautiful thing that you can do, but also the crystal wand is a beautiful connecting process where you can feel a much deeper penetration and a deeper movement up through the cervix and the walls and that connection. And it's solid, it's smooth, it's a crystal, it's a high frequency of love, of care, of nurturing. And same with the jade egg, it's really connecting to the heart's frequency. So it's quite healing. Nephrite jade egg is a very solid crystal. It's very dense as well. And it is the original crystal that was used back in empirical China by the concubines for the king to help that area stay nice and juicy and healthy and firm and tight for the king. But they used it as such a sacred stone as well in China. And that is actually where it originated thousands of years ago. And now we're learning its benefits. Sometimes what you can get is also the drilled eggs, where there's like a hole in the top part of the egg. And then it usually comes with like a string that you can use. This is for a lot of women because they might get scared that they're going to lose the egg up through the cervix. But you're not going to lose it. The cervix is only it's not going to go past the cervix. It's not going to go into the uterus. So you're not going to lose it. It is there. It is just moving around the cervix once you enter. Because once you place it in, it'll move, it'll change, it'll kind of move around the cervix. So just to trust that. And when you want to take it out, all you need to do is just put one of your legs up on a chair or squatting over the bathroom and just bear down, just like you're going to the toilet, and then it will come out. A lot of women get scared about this, that they want to get the drilled egg instead of just the one without. From my own personal experience, the only reason why I would suggest not to get the drilled egg is just because bacteria can get in between the holes. It's harder to clean, but also you're pulling it out of the womb, and that's not what we want. We don't want to sort of create trauma through the cervix and through the tissues. I want you to trust your yoni to be able to allow it to descend when it feels right. This whole process of connecting with a wand or a yoni egg is to trust your body, that it will know what to do. So give it a go. I promise you it is not hard for it to come out. It's just about bearing down and opening up the leg. It will definitely come out. It also comes in 3 different sizes. So the one I have now is actually medium size, which is about the size of like an organic chicken egg. Whereas you can get small and you can get large size. There's this whole myth around, if you've had kids, you need a large one. If you haven't had sex yet, you need a small one, and vice versa. To be honest, the medium size, everyone can use. It's a really good size. Even if you've had kids, it's okay. It's just, you can get a large if you want to, but I do find it's a little bit heavier. I still feel that the medium size is just a great one to begin with. And if you need to go up or down, you can, but medium is great for everyone. When you're inserting the yoni egg, it's really important to make sure that you're not pushing it up into the yoni. We're so used to pushing and, things being, played around in our yoni when we go to the gynecologist, or when we're having a baby, or when we're having sex. It's just this forcing up through that area. This is not about that. It's just about placing the yoni egg at the tip of the yoni, at the front, at the gateway, and meditating, breathing in that area. What you'll find is that the yoni will open up like a flower when it is ready for it to enter. And you will know to slowly insert it as it will be sucked up into the yoni. Do not push. If that means you have to sit there at the front of the yoni or connecting to it, you can do that for, it can take 5 minutes. It can even take even longer than that. Before you pop it in, it's really important to cleanse the crystal, cleanse other people's vibrations for whoever's touched it or whoever made it. You can do this by just running it under, water, salt water I do like, because salt has a very great energetic property to deeply cleanse this crystal, or even in beach water, and then washing it with just plain soap water with no chemicals in it. You can do that. And then also, it's a crystal, really placing an intention there. What do you want it to do? Do you want it to help open you up, to feel love, to connect, to receive? Or do you want it to help you clear out those blockages, to let go of that trauma or the abuse or the rape, or where someone's pushed their boundaries onto you? Our no sits at the gateway of the Yoni. So we need to ask permission of our Yoni if it's okay for something to enter it. So many of us may feel no even when we're being intimate with our partner, or for a man for the first time, or in a relationship. It doesn't matter. There are times where a woman doesn't feel like having sex, or doesn't want to, or doesn't feel that it's right, but will do it anyway. And therefore, we're going against what our body is saying to us and what it's protecting us with, or our deep intuition. So women have lost the ability to ask and connect and speak to the Yoni like their best friend, which is what I want you to do, because we have such a disconnection with it because of our childhood. Even when as a kid, you'll see little boys touching their penis, and when a young girl even touches that area, we'd get our hands slapped, or, that's wrong, don't touch it, that's dirty, that's yucky. So that's creating an imprint that pleasure for a woman is wrong. And we take that into our adulthood as well. And so for a lot of us, we find it hard to reach climax, to reach that orgasmic energy, or to even orgasm more than once. So the Yoni egg is a great way for you to be able to reach climax to a much higher frequency that you've ever experienced before. And same with the wand. The wand, it's so penetrative and it's so stimulating to the cervix. It deeply connects us to the areas where we've become numb. In certain areas of our yoni, we'll feel that, where we may not feel any deep sensation. I encourage you to position it there and leave it there for a little bit longer instead of rushing through and moving it really quickly. Leave it there. Breathe. Use your breath as a place of healing, of bringing new energy, to surrender with the breath out and let go, letting go of the resistance, the contraction that you have in that area because of trauma. Place the wand there with your intention, sending love through that crystal in its activation, and you'll feel something shift. You might feel it energetically. You might feel it with different emotions coming up. It's okay. The whole aim here is not just pleasure, because that's what we think. We think that these toys are all about creating an orgasm, creating pleasure response. And then therefore we are disconnected to actually everything else of the true consciousness of the yoni. So connect, talk to her, tell her it's okay. Tell yourself it's okay for my body to feel this now, that you're safe in this space, that you can shed your tears if you need to. Something beautiful that happened to me the first time I used the yoni egg was that I burst out into tears. I went into a deep meditation for 2 hours with the yoni egg, and I felt so much fear come up, so much sadness come up, and so much judgment that I had held in my womb. Little things that I didn't even realize was playing on my mind. But my body knew, my ovaries knew, my cervix knew, my fallopian tubes knew. Every area of my yoni was awake. It had so much intelligence within it. and everything was trying to communicate with me all at once. And that's when I felt its true heartbeat to me, when my truth started to open up, my true intuition started to open up, and I couldn't deny it anymore. And during that process, after crying and sobbing for hours, I would go into these deep changes within my system as my womb would open up even further. And I would see these amazing, beautiful deities and goddesses come in and cradle me like a child and say it's okay, as I felt my hair being wiped and my tears being wiped, feeling like a little child again. And my heart would open and my womb kept opening. And this is what I experienced through my own womb opening and my own womb journey, which, I've now created a book around Awaken and Heal Your Womb, which will be released very soon. But it's important for women to know this part of their bodies, because this is how much power is residing within you. And it's time for you to connect in this way. So I encourage you all to try either a wand or both, or a jade egg. There are some crystals that are not great for the yoni, but if you are connecting to it and you're feeling like, yep, this is what I need for my body, I want you to trust it. Rose quartz and nephrite jade eggs are great. Also, things like red jasper is really great as it stimulates the root chakra. Carnelian is really good as well. I actually love black onyx. Even though it's a black crystal and it's very strong, it really can help clear out blockages out of the body and excrete all of that trauma. Sometimes I can even visually see it pouring all of that dark energy down my legs now through my feet into Mother Earth. So it's important to breathe into that process. And you can leave them in to begin with. You can just do 5 minutes if you feel to, or you can then leave them in for longer. For me, I like leaving them in anywhere between an hour to 2 hours. And I like doing this first lying down as I'm releasing. And then you can get used to it by even walking around or sitting up and doing meditation with it. So those are some of the ways you can use them. But all I want you to do is just trust in your own guidance, because your body will know what to do. It's just about asking. If a lot of you are not able to reach climax, or you're finding it hard with your own pleasure center, ask your body, while the eggs are in, how can I create more pleasure? How can I release my trauma? How can I release my sadness and my fears and my limiting beliefs around what a healthy relationship with my body looks like? You will be surprised to know that the womb has its own voice, and you will start to hear it either through your intuition, through voices coming up nice and strong through your hearing, through a sensation in your body. You will know. And you will say to me, like so many thousands of women have said to me, is, wow, the voice of the womb is strong and it comes up straight away. And all we need to do is just clear the muffled sounds in the womb, because it needs to be cleaned, it needs to be cleared, because of all the sexual partners that we've been with. Sometimes their energy is still sitting there. Sometimes our family trauma between our parents is sitting there. Sometimes colleagues who have disrespected us is sitting there. So we absorb through the yoni. It's so absorbent that it feels everything and stores there. But it also has a capacity to express, flourish like a flower, and connect to the source of creation. So that is what I want for you all, to awaken your womb power and remember everything that you are, and that your pleasure and your orgasmic energy and who you are as a woman is the energy of the universe that runs through you. So I hope you enjoyed this little video that I did for you. If you have any further questions or want more information, you can reach out to me. I run so many different programs around this. I also do DNA activations, womb clearings, heart clearings, past life trauma that's sitting in the womb. I do all of this work all around the world. So you can always reach out to me on either social media or through my website and fertileseedsoflife.com. But thank you all for listening. I love you all from the bottom of my heart and my womb space. Thank you.